for the day, but I will be talking to you on one topic, and the remaining topic will be continued on one of the future sessions. Today, I will be talking to you on the topic emotional intelligence, which is one of the most regarded soft skills of the day. In a highly commercialized and high-tech society, as a part of Industrial Revolution 4.0, where everybody speaks about artificial intelligence, the topic that I will be interacting with you is on emotional intelligence. They are not two opposite things, but one supplements the other. In order to be a perfect match with the present day happening, where there are every day there will be conflicts, confusions, disturbance, and psychological disorders the human being on the earth is experiencing. There is a need for practicing what is called emotional intelligence. I'm sure most of you might have read about it, listened to this. It's not a new topic as such, but I'm sure it is one of the most important topics to be the teachers and to develop the same among the youngsters who are going to be the future citizens and the leaders of the country. There is a popular saying, emotional intelligence sets apart individuals. Popular saying, man is the same, but men are different. No two persons are identical, both physically and mentally. There could be instances where the physical outlooks of the individuals may be absolutely same, but there cannot be guarantee or certainty about their mentality. What makes every individual to be specific, every individual to be different from other is the mentality. In simple words, we say mentality. Mentality, the expression which is used colloquially, indicates the person's state of mind, emotional stability, and the person's intelligence, preparedness, and the overall personality as such. Therefore, let me make a precise attempt. It's not an elaborated attempt, a precise attempt with you to share a couple of things related to emotional intelligence. As I told you in my earlier session also, whenever you feel like posing questions or commenting, criticizing, sharing something in addition to whatever I'm going to present, take the liberty, feel free. Let us try to understand the thing better than what we know. Everybody speaks about emotional intelligence as a fashion today. There's a popular belief. One needs to be emotionally alert, to be calm, quiet, and concentrate on whatever duty or responsibility he or she is performing. We are all very clear with the word intelligence. We know that intelligence speaks about a person's ability in terms of solving a problem mathematically or solving a technical issue with the help of technology, things like that. But what is this emotional intelligence is all about? Precisely, it is the capacity of an individual. Emotional intelligence is the capacity of an individual for recognizing his own feelings and those of others. First, we must recognize our feelings towards something, and then we must try to understand the same of others with whom we are interacting. Because Even yesterday I made a mention, understanding the people and interacting with them is the most toughest job. But we are the teachers having the responsibility to prepare youngsters to become responsible and to become perfect individuals based on the requirements of the day. It's a challenge to understand them and to make them to equip themselves to face the realities of life. There comes the question of know the people around you. Know the people around you. If you know the people around you, you can think, practice, and do as expected by others or as required at that point of time. Because man is said to be a social animal. Our success, failure, our ability to do anything is dependent on our socializing capacity. None of us can achieve everything on our own. We have to make people to be with us. We have to make people to work for us. We have to make people to support us. All this can happen only when we can build the capacity to influence on others, to impress on others. Particularly teachers, whose job is to make students to learn from them at the first instance, have to impress on them to accept us as their teachers. Unless anybody accepts the speaker, they will not listen. They will not interpret. They will not think further. So the first and the most prominent question before us is how to establish ourselves in the minds of the people as a teacher first. If you first got assessment, thereafter things become easy. People will look at you, people will respect you, listen to you, things like that. Whether it is an industry, business, politics, wherever it is. First thing is to impress on the people, influence them to do what we are expecting from them. For that purpose, we must understand them. Understanding human beings is not an easy joke. Every person is special, different. You cannot generalize. Despite of that, it is inevitable to know the people around us. How can we know them? If we know them better, we can react to them in the required manner. For that purpose, emotional intelligence is the capacity for understanding ourselves and understanding the people around us in order to make them to listen to our commands, make them to work for the achievement of common purpose along with relationships. This is all about emotional intelligence. This is not a new thing, but this has become very popular after 1995 with the publication of the book with the same title by Daniel Goleman. Daniel Goleman, a renowned writer cum psychologist, has published a book called Emotional Intelligence. Thereafter, even the corporate sector, academic and the industry started giving too much of importance for this concept. As such, I'm also talking to you on this topic. But frankly speaking, for us, this is not an absolutely new topic, but it is a modified, channelized version of the thought that we knew in different headings under different conceptual headlines. What it is all about. Again, bear with me for repeating the things. It is to understand the people around us and reacting to them in the required manner. Particularly, we the teachers whose job is totally emotional, we have to make a blend of emotions and situational understanding in order to reach out to the students. And thereafter, we need to prepare them in the way that we like them. As we are from different faculties, they need to become the future leaders, future teachers, advocates, scientists, mathematicians, things like that. Whatever they become, particularly, first, we must remember that the very first act of ours is to impress on our students. In order to impress them, first we must be mentally prepared. It is our mood that determines the mood in the classroom. The classes becomes interesting or otherwise, students will listen to us, students will respect, or the participation inside the classes depends on the emotion of the teachers first. First, we must be emotionally attached, prepared mentally to be the part of a session. There, our involvement will be more. As a matter of fact, if I am in a good mood to interact with the students, the creativity, originality in my presentation, involvement in solving the problem will be more than when I am in a disturbed mood. If I am in a disturbed mood, I cannot give justice to whatever I am doing because of my inability to be perfect in my thinking. Therefore, first we need to understand emotions are the most prominent thing that influences. Man is a bundle of emotions. These emotions will impact. Therefore, we need to make people to be emotionally intelligent. What is that emotionally intelligent? How we can make use of that for the purpose of academics? I will take you to these things later on. First, let me go with a simple introduction that dealing with the people is the most complicated thing, I said. And every day in and day out, we have to deal with the students, youngsters, particularly the students who are in the undergraduate and the postgraduate classes. They are in the transition age of their life. They are neither grown-ups nor kids. If you call them grown-ups and mature, they behave in a childish way. If you consider them as childish, they will get angry. They think that they are capable of making any decision on their own independently. Because everybody thinks that I am mature, I am grown up, I am intelligent, things like that. In a class of 100 students or 60 students, there will be 60 different. They are all from different backgrounds. Somebody from urban area, somebody from rural area, somebody from found family, somebody from people suffering from poverty, somebody from other country, speaking different languages. All these people have to be considered as a team, and they must be made to look at us to our instructions and take us as the role model.
ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾರು ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು.
When I was saying there are different types of people. The surrounding people constitutes our society. What are the different types of people with whom we have to interact in the society and in the classroom also? I have made a list of different types of people. Just I will run through and then take you to the emotional intelligence concept. There are people who are aggressive and hostile. Aggressive and hostile people are those who always impose. They don't listen to your views. They make commands authoritatively. They want to be your boss all the time. Followed by that, complainers. Complainers are the people who are not happy with anything. All the time they come with negative comments. They say that, these and all, and they want everybody to appreciate that. Clams are those people who act like comedians. Clams are the people who are comedians who try to make everybody to laugh without knowing how it affects their image and personality in the group. They are clams. Negatives are those people who always comes with criticism. Whatever you say, they will make critical comments. And super agreeables are those people, before you give the proposal, they accept the thing and say, you are right, you are right, you are right. They are of the type of yes ministers. And some people are coming under the category know it all. They think they are the born intelligent, they know everything. There is no need of any advice, suggestion for them. Balloons are the people who always look for appreciations and encouragement. They always feel proud when you say good words. They carry forward the same thing. They say, I know that, know this, know him, something like that. Indecisive stallers. Indecisive stallers are the people who don't make any decisions in time. They just keep postponing the things. Whatever you say, they say, let us do it tomorrow. Let us do it day after tomorrow. Always they go for postponing, and at the end they will forget it. Followed by that, devil's advocate. Devil's advocates are the people who always come with an argument in favor of somebody as a lawyer. Followed by that, scapegoats. Scapegoats are the people who become victims for the mistakes committed by others. These are the type of people we encounter day in and day out. But we being teachers,
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಸೌಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಮೇಡಮ್.
society for people will be there. Whether your student will become an officer later on, a teacher or anybody later on, he has to encounter the same type of people everywhere. Question now is how to be with them, how to make them to understand us. There is a popular saying by Richard Nixon, people are persuaded by reason but moved by emotion. Emotions are the most prominent thing. Any leader for the matter must use both persuasion and emotion to make them to work with us. People are moved by reason, but people are persuaded by reason, but moved by emotion. Hence, we must combine both the persuasion and emotion while talking to people. This is what the meaning. Along with this, let us make an attempt to understand. When we understand people, one is the emotion, other one is the intelligence. Emotion, our understanding of emotion is that it is something to do with human feelings like joy, happiness, surprise, anxiety, sadness, anger, jealous, disgust, frustration, fear, love, etc. These are all said to be emotions. And when it comes to intelligence, we measure the intelligence of the people. We measure the intelligence of the people based on their ability in terms of analytical reasoning, verbal skills, spatial ability, capacity to give attention, memory power, and the judgments. Normally, when we select an employee for a position, or when we select students for a course, we conduct an entrance test. That entrance test will be based on all of these or some of these factors. It may consider the mathematical ability, fluency in a language, verbal skills, spatial ability, judgment capacity, memory power to the greater extent. But in life, what makes the person to be successful or failure? In life, what makes a person to be successful or a failure? It is not his ability. Problem. It is not the marks he has secured in an examination. What makes him to be different and what makes him to be capable of rising to the occasion and solving any type of problem is his capacity to withstand frustration, ability to handle frustration. Why I am telling ability to handle frustration? All of us look for success, but success is not everybody's property. Success requires will, vision, commitment, and efforts. In a class of 60 students, anyone can become a gold medalist. Race, any one or two can win the prize, but everybody aspires for success. It's not a sin. It's not a sin. Victory or winning is a rare occasion. It's an exception. Prepared or otherwise, the most expected result is the failure. What matters to a greater extent is how do you take failures? Nobody teaches how to accept the fail, but everybody speaks about celebrating the victory. When you celebrate the victory, everybody will be with you. When you are the winner, there will be hundreds of people to support you. When you lose the match, when you become alone, it is your capacity to withstand the pressure of failure that makes you a different person. That is the reason we need to teach our students this emotional intelligence, ability to manage emotions, because the present day students look for immediate results. They look for winning all the time, which is not possible. When they fail, they cannot sustain that. They go to depression, and many a time they will give up the option of working further. And many youngsters who are really intelligent may commit suicide because of the failure. But we must understand that it is not their intelligence alone that is sufficient to be successful. Many successful people are not intelligent, but their capacity reflects in their emotional stability, rise to the occasion to withstand the pressure of failure, and the motivation for continuing further the same activity or the modified activity in order to survive in the field. Therefore, most of the time, the predictors of success of anybody is not the intelligence alone, it is the ability to handle frustration, it is the ability to manage our own emotions and ability to manage the social skills. Social skills means your ability and capacity to handle the people around you. How to acquire this? As I was telling, many a time, the emotions that I have listed here, they become the obstacles for doing anything constructively or doing anything with a distinction. Because these things will make a person to become highly sensitive and emotional, and that may spoil his capacity to continue further. Or it may lead to lot of destruction, conflicts, confusion, hatredness, which may become a hurdle for a smooth living or working in any environment. For this purpose, we need to manage our emotions. Now the question before you I am asking is, what are emotions? I have been talking about emotions. What do you understand by emotions? Emotions are the internal conscious state of mind that we infer in ourselves and others. Emotions are subjective and personal experiences based on the psychological episodes that are connected to our knowledge and actions. I don't know whether you are following me or not. Emotions are the subjective and personal experiences based on the psychological episodes connected to our knowledge and actions. You can understand what makes you happy and what makes you unhappy. Things are things only, but something makes us happy, something makes us unhappy. Something makes us angry, something makes us to be pleased. The reason is capacity to interpret them and our
Sir,
capacity to react to them based
sir,
on.
only the first slide is still visible. Only the first slide is only visible, sir.
It's not changing.
Yes, sir, not changing, sir.
तो आगे सुनने इधर were you kept mom along with the same slide?
Second one is sir ida. Second one sir.
What is emotional intelligence? That slide, madam. Only that is now it is visible.
What is visible now?
What is emotional intelligence? That slide, sir.
Sir, it is still in second slide, sir. It's not moving. I have also texted in the chat box, sir.
Slides are not moving, sir. Now moving, sir. Now you have to... Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please bear with me. I don't know why it has happened like this. Please
Okay,
see,
sir. Okay.
the first slide, it runs like emotional intelligence sets apart individuals. The second slide, what is emotional intelligence? Can you see the two eyes?
Yes, sir.
Followed by
Yes, sir.
that,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
teaching requires, I will read out. Teaching requires coordination of emotion and actions. Teaching is a sensitive and emotional action. You got it? Somebody should respond. See the fun. This is, I'm teaching emotion.
Yes, sir. We have got it, sir. Really, it is.
Now, this is the other slide where I have made a mention that students don't care what teachers know unless they knew that the teacher care for them. Is it there? Can you see the slide?
Yes, sir. It
Yes,
is
sir.
Okay,
visible, sir.
I will go further. Emotionally strong in order to manage our classrooms first. I'm talking about this emotional intelligence from two perspectives. One is as it is needed for the teachers, and then teachers to teach the same for their students. At the first instance, in order to manage students who are sitting in front of us, emotionally, we must be prepared to manage the classroom. How can we manage the class? I have listed a couple of issues. The purpose of a teacher is to develop a caring, supportive relationship with and among the students. He himself must establish a caring and supportive relationship. Students must believe him, trust him, respect him. Then only they will listen to the teacher. And implement instruction in ways that optimizes the students' access to learning. Optimizing the students' access to learning is the second responsibility of any teacher. The fourth job of a teacher to manage the class is to use group management methods that encourages students' engagement with academic tasks. What is group management task? In a group, there will be members and the leaders. In a team, there will be members with an objective. We must explain. The classroom must be converted into a team. We must make the students to feel that we are doing some teamwork. Somebody who is responsible as the caretaker or the teacher, and that person likes us, that person is doing everything in order to make us to do something, earn something, learn something. Such an environment must be followed by that. Use group management methods that encourage student engagement with academic tasks. Promote the development of student social skill and self-regulation. Social skills and self-regulation means we must first teach responsible members of the community. The community I'm talking now is the classroom. In a classroom, the student must demonstrate the expected minimum decorum to be a responsible member of the team. There comes the question of self-respect, self-regulation, self-management, issues like that. For that purpose, we need to use appropriate interventions to assist students who have behavioral problems. Many students will have behavioral problems. What type of problems that students may have which are emotionally connected? How to handle their emotions? Yeah,
ಅಯ್ಯೋ
I have five
ಎಷ್ಟೋ ದಿನ 2 ರೂಪಾಯಿ
ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೀವ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊತಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Am I reaching?
Audible, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If there is any difficulty in following me, please ask questions. Okay.
No, sir.
Many a time, students experience different problems during their studentship, for which teachers are responsible to emotionally react. What are the problems that the students may encounter? Motivational difficulties. A student may be a good student, but his motivation level for learning may not be that good, because he may not be knowing why he should work all this and what is the outcome of doing all this. He may ask a question, why should I do this? Is there any future? Is there any scope? Will I get what I want? Such a motivational problem may be there. Most of our students are not ambitious. They are not hopeful of the future. As a result, at the early age, they become disgusted, disappointed in life. It is our responsibility to motivate them. Followed by that, the second problem students face is inability to adjust to the college life. Many students may be from the secondary school level. They might have passed PUC, and some of them may be from remote places which are not connected to the cities, the towns, maybe from not educated families. Because of the regional and local issues that they might have experienced, when they come to a college, they may find it difficult to get adjusted with the college environment. The language that is spoken in the college, the furnitures that are to be used, the facilities that are to be used, the way in which must salute a person, respond to a person, talk to a person, interact with the people, socializing, that may become a big problem for many students. For such problems, emotionally, we need to support them. Another problem is study skills. Some students really hardworking, but they don't know how to work. They may not be smarter enough to prepare. So that we need to guide them the way in which they should prepare. We must give them the source where they can get the answer for the questions that they are searching for. There we need to emotionally stand behind them. Followed by that, directional goals. Many people cannot see the future. Without a vision, life is meaningless. Many people may not be hopeful of getting something good or reaching something great in life at all, thinking that I am from a poor background, I am from a village, I have studied in regional language, I don't have facility, I don't have godfathers, thinking that they may become disappointed. At that type of situation, we need to set them a goal. We need to build a destination for them to reach of a teacher. Followed by that, most of the students may come out with personal issues, personal problems. Even for the personal problems, as much as possible, we need to respond to them favorably. Respond to them favorably. Many people need counseling. Maybe related to their attention towards studies, maybe related to their expectations about the future, maybe related to their relationship with their friends, classmates, relatives, etc. We need to guide them. At that point of time, playing with emotion becomes very significant. When we have to emotionally address their problem, at the first instance, we must be emotionally strong. It is our emotional intelligence that makes us to be competent to guide our students effectively. From that point only, I'm talking to you. I hope You got the point so far, whatever I have mentioned. Along with this, I told you about the different types of people. Even in a class, there may be people of different characters, different categories, as we have people in the society. Hostile and aggressive people are those I have already mentioned. They are very aggressive. They don't listen to anybody. They always come in an attacking mood. Complainers always make comments about good, bad, ugly, something like that. Clams are the people, whatever suggestion you give, they take it casually and make fun of it. Negatives always think at the negative side of the story. Super agreeables, they don't bother whether it is right or wrong. They try to please you, saying that you are right, you are right, you are right. And know it all are the people, they are of the category who think they are born genius and they have answer for all questions. And balloons are the people who are pampered by others and they try to pamper others. Indecisive scholars are the people who postpone the things, and by postponing, they make you to forget what you wanted them to do. And devil's advocates always come with an argument for supporting others, whether they are right or wrong, as an advocate. And scapegoats become the victims of the mistakes committed by others. This is what about the problem of managing people in the society, community, organizations, and managing the students in the classroom also. For this purpose, we need to be good in emotional intelligence. I told you precisely, emotions includes issues related to joy, happiness, surprise, anxiety, sadness, anger, jealous, disgust, frustration, fear, etc. In order to break the monotony, shall I ask you a question? Do you remember the situation when you got angry in the class very recently? Any of you can comment. Do you remember a situation that made you angry very recently in the class? My intention is to make you respond, otherwise it has become a one-way communication. Emotional intelligence cannot be taught like this. It must be through interaction. We can share the things. Anybody can comment. Can you angry in the classroom?
Yes, sir.
Anger management is an important issue. If you know what makes you angry, you can also think the same thing will make others angry. Anger is the biggest enemy of the civilized society. Every day, there are 100 reasons to get angry. Maybe in the traffic, maybe in the office, maybe in the classroom, maybe at home. When you become angry, you will lose your ability to think originally. That leads to abuse of words, that leads to abuse of situation, and that may leads to a war, a fight, a conflict, quarrel, etc. Therefore, emotions are related to all this. We need to be emotionally intelligent in terms of analytical ability, verbal skills, spatial skills, attention, memory, judgment is not sufficient. However intelligent you are in your subject, as a master or a doctoral degree holder in your respective subject, you may be highly intelligent. You may be a scholar. But remember, the most scholarly person may not become a good teacher because of his inability to manage his emotions. On the situational issues. Therefore, my point is to say that success depends not only on your emotions, it depends on your ability to handle frustrating situations, ability to understand your emotions and the emotions of others through social skills. Now I am taking to explain to you what is emotional intelligence is all about. Please listen to me. As I told you, it is not a new thing that I am telling, but the concept has become popular with the publication of that book, Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman, wherein he had identified 5 elements as the components of emotional intelligence. What are these 5 elements? To be emotionally stable and competent, we need to practice these 5 things. These 5 things are, at the first instance, self-awareness, followed by self-regulation, self-motivation, social awareness, and social skills. Emotional intelligence of 5 components, namely self-awareness, self-regulation, self-motivation, social awareness, and social skills. Elaborate to you what is this self-awareness means. Self-awareness means a question that asks how much you know about you. Who are you? What do you know about you? Again, I can give it as an opportunity for you to describe yourself, to introduce yourself. Who are you without mentioning your position, your name, your qualification, your place, and your parents. Without mentioning these, will you be able to introduce yourself? Anybody? I think you got my question clear. Yaradru heli whether the question reached you. Did you get the question? My question to you is, whenever we introduce ourselves, we speak about many things related to us, but not us. Who are we? Why we are here? What are we doing? We speak about what are we doing, why we are doing more than who are we. It's a philosophical question. Needless to elaborate, people like Socrates and Aristotle has developed all their theories based on the simple question, who am I? A person who can understand who am I can become practical, realistic, and do only actions that justifies his existence, that defines his goal in life, that describes the path to be taken further in life. It's a philosophical question. Whatever you explain, hey, I am Mr. X, I am Miss X, Dr. X, Y, things like that. That is your name. It's not you. It's not you. If you say, this is me, that is your hand. If you touch your head and say, this is me, that's your head, it's not you. Then who am I? It's highly difficult to reach out to the answer. If you go closer to that, that makes our life meaningful. We need to define who are we, why we are here, what is expected of us, things like that. See here, many a time, for the question, who are we need to go for the concept of self. Self means installed perception of one's own image in his mind. You will be knowing when we do something wrong, people will ask a question, what do you think of yourself? First, we must have clarity about what we think of ourselves. That determines our personality. That influences our personality. You will be knowing a great psychologist by name Carl Rogers has developed a theory called self-theory of personality, wherein he says it is the image of yourself in your mind. If you think you are big, you will become big. If you are small, if you think you are useless, if you think you are helpless. Therefore, the concept of yourself is influenced by a number of factors like the society where you are living, the social factors, the value systems of that society, the beliefs prevailing in that society, abilities of your own, and the goals that you have set for your life. These things will influence what type of you are. Therefore, the first question is, what do you know about you? How much you know about you? In psychology, there's a concept called self-perception. That's what I said so far. Self-perception means the image about yourself. Forget what the world speaks about you. What do you know about you? What do you think of yourself? Think positively. If you develop a negative feeling about you, the same will develop and you will become the same. Your mind will become what your eyes could see, and your eyes could see what your mind can think. As a result of that, you will become either active or inactive because of your own thinking. Therefore, there is a concept like self-image. There are three different types of self-images. One is the actual self, other one is the ideal self, and the third one is the projected self. Actual self is what you are. Ideal self is what you want to become. Projected self is how you demonstrate yourself before others. If all the three are different, if there is no relationship between all the three, if there is no parity, the person will become a laughing stock. Our ideal self is something else, projected differently, and actually we are different. That makes the person psychologically become gullible, distressed, and that makes the person to behave in an uncontrolled manner. Self-assessment. What is self-assessment? Self-assessment means your ability to understand yourself, your strengths and weaknesses. Your strengths and weaknesses. You should life. They are the ones who know where they are good at. And the most intelligent person is one who knows what he don't know. Then make an assessment of yourself, identify your strengths and weaknesses. Don't celebrate your weaknesses, try to get out of them. Try to overcome them. That will make a person who is capable of doing anything. And self-control. Self-control means restrict yourself from doing the unwanted thing. And you should be in a position to know what is unwanted and what is wanted, what is right and wrong. That depends on something called locus of control in psychology. Locus of control means what you believe as the controlling force in your life. People believe that my life is controlled by some invisible hands. If you believe in the words of destiny and something like that, you will not initiate anything from your own. All the time you pass on the books to others. For everything happened to you, you blame the people, you curse the people, or ultimately pass on everything to destiny, fate, something like that. If you think the locus of control is internal, it is me who is responsible for everything, you will become self-centered. Too much of self-centered thinking will make the person to become an introvert person. An introvert person normally will not share anything with anybody, and he will develop self-pitying, self-depreciating, and self-humiliation, and suicidal tendencies may develop in that type of people. Therefore, we need to avoid the extremes of believing that everything happens because of others, and at the same time, everything happens because of me. We must draw a line between these two. That makes a person to be normal one. If I teach, nobody understands. Where is the fault? If I think fault is with me, I cannot take another new class. If I think fault is with all the students, I cannot start liking the students and liking teaching. I must identify the real reason and try to sort it out. That is what self-control and self-depreciating. These are the first important thing that we need to remember about self-awareness. Self-awareness is about knowing one's own emotions. It's about understanding your thinking patterns and knowing what thinking pattern you use in certain events. It's also an understanding of your strength and weaknesses to know what motivates you and what you want out of life. Followed by that, self-image. As I told you, how do you think yourself? What is your perception of yourself? See here in the picture, if a cat imagines itself as a lion, its activities, its thinking, its perception of life is also going to be different. False images sometimes leads to disasters. Self-regulation. Self-regulation is the ability to develop, implement, and flexibly maintain a planned behavior in order to achieve one's own goals. The person who is capable of regulating himself can regulate anybody. Therefore, we should know when to get angry, we should know when to be happy, and we should know when to say yes, no. When we are supposed to say no, we must not substitute it by yes. When we don't need to do something, how to say that dissentiment in a polite way that we should know. Because we must understand what hurts the people. What hurts me will definitely hurt others. Without hurting others, how can I put forth my views, my points before others? That calls for emotional intelligence. What questions are to be asked? What questions will solve my problem or give answer to my questions? That I should know. And we must put the proper words in place, because language is the most powerful means of interaction and building relationship. While building relationship, if you are able to control your tongue, control your language, that's the people say, mind your language. If we are capable of minding our language, we can build and develop good relationship. Self-regulation sometimes may fail. What are the reasons for failure of self-regulation? I have listed a couple of things. I don't know, will I be able to explain them in detail? Self-regulation may falter because of future or deficits at any of these 7 steps. Because of the failure or deficits at any of these 7 steps. First one is receiving irrelevant information. When I am wrong, if I am wrong, when somebody says you are right, I may believe that and I may forget my fault. Inside the class, when I am teaching something, I ask the question, hope you are understanding me, hope you are following me. If the students lie that true sir, we are understanding, I will continue the same method. I will not change myself. I will not control myself. When I am doing some crime, if somebody says you are wrong, I will think again. When I am doing something crime and people say you are right, that may hamper my self-assessment and self-regulation. Evaluating the information and comparing it to norms may be misleading. Triggering the change, searching for options, formulating a plan, implementing the plan, and assessing the plan of what you are supposed to do. If these things are wrong, then our self-regulation will also fail and we may become the toy in the hands of time. Toy in the hands of time, where we lose control on ourselves. One who cannot control himself cannot control anybody at all. Therefore, the first principle is regulate yourself. Followed by that is self-motivation. Self-motivation means in life, don't expect anybody to motivate you. Motivation is the driver inside a person that puts him into action. When you have to achieve something, let there be reason of yours. If the reason is yours, you will not get disappointment. Say, for instance, talking to you so much, elaborating all this is because of my decision to participate, and you also participating on your own. If this participation is because of somebody's pressure, somebody's pull, then we cannot give justice, we cannot enjoy this. There must be a strong reason inside us for doing anything. Whatever we are doing. but it is the hardest. It is the difficult thing to always look for somebody to say that you do this, either a teacher or a supervisor or a mentor or parent or government should come to motivate us. Unless somebody says do it, people don't do that. Don't expect anybody to appreciate, anybody to instigate, anybody to promote, motivate you. Be on your own. This is the spirit. Followed by that, self-motivation. The one common denominator of all successful people is their hunger to push through their fears. If there is hunger to push through, fears will disappear. When you have enough hunger, you can easily learn how to self-motivate to meet the goals you have set your mind and focus on. Self-motivation, turning your shoulds into musts, is something that turns your shoulds into musts. You can understand what it is. Then social relationship, I said. Manage social relations, we need social skills. What are social skills? Social skills are the competencies to be an effective friend, to be a negotiator, and to be a leader. One should be able to guide an interaction by inspiring, persuading, and influencing others, and make others comfortably in social situation. Make others participate comfortably in social situations. Therefore, social skills will help us to develop social relationship. That social relationship calls for social skills. What are social skills? Yesterday, I just gave a list of soft skills. Social skills includes your communication skills, how well you can communicate, how can you talk to people, and followed by that, your ability to resolve conflict. When there is a difference of opinion, how do you do that? How do you solve the problem? The simple thing, if you are wrong, accept it early. If you are at right, try to convince others. Try to defend yourself through proper words, through proper communication. And at the first instance, try to avoid conflicts. But conflicts cannot be avoided 100% because life without conflicts is unthinkable, unimaginable. You cannot convince everybody on the earth, but try to convince the majority. Conflict resolution. Basic interaction skills, basic interaction. When you meet people, how to start a conversation, how to conclude a conversation are the basic things. Therefore, many people don't know these basic courtesies. A smiling face can solve many problems, believe me. Smile is not expensive. A smile is the cheapest thing that can solve an hardest problem. What a sword cannot do, that a smile can do. There is a saying, if you find a person without smile, give one of yours. Still you don't lose anything. But before smiling, be careful. If you smile where you are not supposed to smile, you will be put into trouble. Therefore, I tell you to expand the word SMILE, smile. Before you smile, search, meet, investigate, lead, and execute. That one style of management. One style of management. Followed by that, team building skills. As teachers, we must work in teams. We are the team leaders. We must build the team spirit among the students also. And there are some do's and don'ts required to be a good team that we must follow. We must learn team building skills as the social skills. Teaching social skills is the most significant thing today because of the high-tech lifestyle that we are leading, all of us are engaged with the gadgets. We have forgotten to talk to people. Emotions have become minimum these days. Given this, our social fitness, just like our physical fitness and mental fitness, our social fitness is at stake. We need to develop that. That can happen only when we understand the importance of this. This is the last slide. Please bear with me. After that, we can go for questions if there are any. Emotional intelligence. Summary I am giving. Don't know how much I have reached you. But in summary, I can tell you, emotional intelligence is the ability to identify your feelings and needs through self-awareness. It is the ability to read others' feelings and to listen to others with empathy. It is the ability to know how to express your feelings with words or body language. It is the ability to choose, contain emotion, and when to communicate your emotions appropriately. It is the ability to process and let go of emotions when it is necessary. The willingness to give ourselves time to feel and to enjoy the depth of ourselves through feelings. It is the or to follow gracefully. It is the ability to honor our own limits, I am as I am, as well as to celebrate our talents. It is the ability to give and receive love, respect, etc. Emotional intelligence, in summary, is the combination of three things. One is the cognitive mind. Cognitive mind means the knowledge, what you know, what you have learned, your expertise, your scholarship, your achievements in academics. And the emotional mind, the mind related to feelings, sentiments, humanism, love, caring for the people, and put together makes your emotional quotient. In summary, I can tell you, we may get a job because of our IQ. In the interviews and the test, IQ is tested, and you may get a promotion because of your RQ, that is relationship quotient, but you can enjoy the job that you are doing only when your EQ or emotional quotient is strong. I just made an attempt to present before you this wonderful topic with lot of constraints here and there. I don't know how much I have reached you. Take the liberty to question, cross question, argue, criticize, whatever you like.